Well, hello everyone. Hello from Memmingen. Hello to another NovoFlex technical webinar. My name is Martin Grahl, and we're going live from Memmingen in Germany, where the NovoFlex factory is located. With me here is Andreas Marx, our staff photographer.
Yes, hello. My name is Andreas Marx. I'm a professional photographer since more than 40 years, and I think we together will want to show you something about focus stacking and macro photography and product photography and the differences between in this.
Okay, today's webinar will be a technical one. Well, Matt is usually responsible for all our inspirational webinars, or in charge of the inspirational webinars. Today is a technical webinar. We want to give you some insight and some experiences in the differences between working with the BALPRO macro bellows and our technical camera setup, the CASTBAL-PRO bellows. We want to tell you the differences and the applications that both systems can be best put to use. We've created a little deck to show you how everything works to your advantage. And after we finished making our way through the entire deck, we do a little live demonstration to give you even more insight. And after that, we've prepared a little Q&A. So whenever you have questions, please put them in the chat box. There's a little Q&A button where you can just enter your questions. Matt is here in the background, and he will curate your questions, and he will collect. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I see people from Los Angeles, from Sweden, even from New Zealand, Colorado, Washington, D.C.
One was from Belgium.
Belgium. That's nice. Okay, think we could just jump right into the presentation. So for everyone that is tuning in a little later, there will be a replay that we will send out to everyone interested in like 2 days time. And without further ado, I would say let's jump right into it.
Yes.
Shall we?
So you start your presentation?
Exactly. I will jump into the presentation. I will turn off my camera here, and I will walk you through the presentation. So focus stacking in product and macro photography with the BALPRO and the CASTBAL-PRO. Differences in application. That's the title of our presentation. Let's go to the next slide. So the first bellows we will be talking about is the macro bellows, the BALPRO 1 and the BALPRO TS. That's the two models that we offer. The difference between the two is that the BALPRO TS, as is in its name, offers tilt and shift capabilities on both the front and the rear standard. Let's jump right to the next slide. Both bellows are classic macro bellows. Both can be adapted to almost any camera lens combination by a whole range of adapters that are available. Adapters are available for MFT, APS-C size, and full frame, medium, and large format lenses on the front standard, and for the same camera sizes on the rear standard. And both bellows can, of course, be converted into full-fledged auto bellows by the help of our auto reversing rings. So for everyone that is following our webinar series for a little while longer, you've probably have seen our auto bellows. They can be hooked up to both BALPRO 1 and BALPRO TS and convert them into full-fledged auto bellows, transferring the entire communication between the camera and the bellows back and forth. An ideal companion product to our BALPRO series bellows is, of course, a focusing rail. And in this range, we offer different focusing rails, starting with the CASTEL QP, a CASTEL XQ2, which offers a longer rail and a longer positioning range. And more conveniently, of course, as we are speaking of this focus stacking technique today, is our stepping motor driven rail, the CASTEL-MICRO. And you will see and hear a lot of CASTEL-MICRO throughout today's presentation. Another interesting rail that any BALPRO series bellows can be paired with is our CASTEL-M rail. CASTEL-M is a rail that we've especially designed for the application of focus stacking in magnifications up to 5 to 1. And the slidable camera mount that attaches to the bellows is driven by a lead screw or a spindle, very precise, and is controlled by the focus wheel in the rear. And what's unique about this focus rail is that it features a little blue lever, which will help you to set a magnification factor, either 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, or 5 to 1. And what this does, this brings in click stops into the rotation of the focus wheel. And these click stops translate into the necessary step sizes for the individual magnification factors that I've just mentioned. So here in this setup, this is a typical macro setup. The rail serves two purposes. The precise positioning of course, the unit, bellows, camera, and lens, and to adjust for the extremely shallow depths of field in macro photography, something that we try to overcome, of course, with the stacking technique. We want to extend the depths of field in macro photography with the help of the rail. Well, focus stacking, what does this mean? By capturing multiple shots while gradually shifting the plane of focus, a stacking series is created, which is then combined into a single image with a, correspondingly large depth of field. And later on, we use so-called stacking software. We usually work with the likes of Helicon Focus or Zerine Stacker, and this works exceptionally well with the aforementioned focusing rails, so CASTEL-M or CASTEL-MICRO, or either manually or motorized. Here's another typical subject that we would use the BALPRO 1 bellows or the BALPRO TS bellows combined with the rail for. Another one is, here's an end. So in this process, the appropriate magnification is first set with the help of the bellows extension, and then the entire unit is moved forward. So it's very important that with this method, the entire unit, so camera, bellows, and lens is moved, and not the rear standard. So and this approach has proven to be highly effective for magnifications or reproduction ratios that are greater than 1:1, so above life size. So this is the area which we usually call macro photography. So appropriate step sizes for focus stacking, that is something that you either have to figure out yourself, either you know, because you've done it quite a few times in the past, and if you don't, if you're not an experienced user yet, all our stacking rails, the CASTEL-M and the CASTEL-MICRO rails are accompanied by appropriate tables and for different magnification factors, starting at 1 to 10 and going all the way to 10 times magnification. And of course, we've also added several different f-stops. So if you're new to the focus stacking game, don't worry, just buy into the system, and the table that includes the necessary values come with the rails. So here's another interesting example that can be achieved with the help of the manual CASTEL-M rail, which can be used up to a magnification factor of 5 to 1. 5 to 1 is sort of is something like a threshold, I would say. It's possible to perform the stacking steps manually, which CASTEL-M usually does. And beyond that threshold of 5 to 1, the depth of field becomes so shallow that you can't practically use manual techniques anymore, and you should usually jump over to a stepping motor driven rail. Is this something that you would agree upon, Andreas?
Yes, absolutely. And what I think what is totally important is even at these magnifications, you need a really stable stand. So that the only movement is what you do with the focusing rail and nothing else. That's really important for the best results to get.
Otherwise, well, anything else will decrease the overall quality or the output quality.
Yeah.
So we just spoke about that, the threshold of 5 to 1. So beyond 5 to 1, the step size becomes so small because of the shallow depths of field that we recommend jumping into a stepping motor driven rail. And we offer a CASTEL-MICRO as the solution. And on this slide here, we see details of the wing of a butterfly that have been captured with the help of some microscope objective lenses. In our portfolio, we sell Mitutoyo M-plan microscope objective lenses, which are designed for fixed magnifications. We start at 5 to 1, and then there's lenses for magnifications of 10 to 1, 20 to 1, and 50 to 1. And all of these lenses can be perfectly paired with our stepping motor driven rail or with the microtube, which includes the optics of the microscope, which these lenses have been designed for. And these lenses can also be hooked up to a BALPRO bellows. So again, the BALPRO bellows in combination with a stepping motor driven rail is a macro tool, a true macro tool, and nothing else.
Yeah, maybe it's interesting that it's not only the microscope lens which you see on the picture, but in the tube there is another lens which is totally important to get.
Tube lens.
A tube lens, yes, to get a sharp image on the sensor of the camera. So it's not only just a tube.
Could you say that the tube lens sort of replaces the optics of the microscope?
Yes, sort of. And the microscope is a complex optical system. So you need in this combination also so-called infinity corrected microscope lenses, and in combination with the tube lens, which we chosen after several testings, this gets really good results. Yes.
Okay, we had the topic of macro photography, and of course we want to speak with you more about the differences between macro bellows and the bellows that we use for product photography, which we call CASTBAL-PRO, and in combination with our CASTEL-MICRO and CASTEL-M-Rail, this special bellows becomes sort of a technical camera.
Yeah.
CASTBAL-PRO transforms these two stacking rails into a technical camera. And in this combination, the setup is specifically designed for stacking larger objects, such as in product photography. It is, always meant to be used with either one of these two aforementioned rails. So this is how the entire setup looks like. The lower setup has a Canon EOS R3 attached in the rear, and the Mamiya RZ67 lens in the front. And the upper setup has a Fujifilm and our 90mm Schneider lens set attached to it, and the CASTEL-M-Rail as a base of the technical camera. And yet again, this technical camera offers the possibility of attaching or creating multiple setups comprised of large format lenses, medium format lenses, and larger lenses, and of course cameras starting at MFT sensor size, APS-C size, full frame, and even digital bags like the Phase 1 IQ digital bags.
Yes. There are so many really nice lenses, mechanical lenses out there from former times up to now. The Schneider lens we sell is an actual lens. And with this combination, with this technique, you can use these very good old lenses, which sometimes are really sharp. Sometimes they have a special character which you want to use, but
you can bring them to a modern stacking
Yes,
process.
that's what I want to say. You can do the absolutely modern technique of focus stacking with these mechanical lenses, which does not work with any other camera inbuilt focus stacking application technique in the camera. And that's the most important message we want to tell you. The difference, both looks like a bellows, but the working is
somewhat different.
So
in this setup, we call it the technical camera, and the main difference compared to a BALPRO series bellows is that only the rear standard, and thus the camera or the sensor is moving, and the front standard and the lens stays put. It doesn't change its position in relation to the subject, which is quite interesting in product photography. And the next slide has a little graph that does explain what CASTBAL-PRO does. And if you look a little closer at this graph, you will notice that when working with CASTBAL-PRO, sort of a transmission effect comes into play. So we usually move the camera forwards in very fine increments of 0.3 millimeters step sizes. And what we gain in the front is, we have a very large sharpness gain in the front. So with very small steps in the rear, we have a big sharpness gain in the front. And this sharpness gain almost disappears the closer we will get to the one-to-one magnification. And beyond one-to-one magnification, we have to do more steps in the rear than we gain sharpness in the front. So that's the main reason. CASTBAL-PRO in combination with one of the two rails is not a macro tool. It's a tool for product photography and for photographing larger objects and even towards infinity. So here's a comparison of a shot of a map that we did with both setups, the BALPRO on the left-hand side and the CASTBAL-PRO on the right-hand side. And you'll notice that the BALPRO does not cover the entire field of the map. And the reason for this is that the BALPRO attached to any of our CASTEL rails can only cover a field that the rail is able to cover.
Yeah.
But with the big sharpness gain that we reach with the CASTBAL-PRO setup, we have taken maybe 3 or 4 shots only, and we're able to cover the entire map from front to back.
Yeah.
And that is the big difference between the two setups.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add out of your experience?
No, absolutely. That's the interesting point, and we start here with a flat object, but it's much more important, as you think, with 3-dimensional objects that you have in the normal product still life photography.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, you can do still life. People did that for many years with tilt and shift.
Mm-hmm.
But this technique is much better because if it's important to get a sharp picture from front to back. Tilt and shift you can use for some
effects
and was heißt künstlerisch? Artificial pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But to get really sharp pictures, in my opinion, this is the best way. And if you have complicated objects like this, tilt shift is not working from front to rear and any point in this picture to get sharp.
You're only shifting the plane of focus.
Yes.
So in this example, the object is tack sharp from front to back and from top to bottom.
Yeah. And the next picture as well. You see, later we have some zoom spots on this picture, so it's get better. Ja, die kommen später, klar. So you see it better, but this is a sort of picture which is 3-dimensional, and this is a picture which I have often to do, and it's quite difficult to do it on a traditional way. If the client wants to see his logo in front and the whole pot,
rim of the pot,
and on the same picture in the backside the
numbers there.
The numbers. And all that should be absolutely in focus. So with focus taking, that's no problem. You have about 10 to 12 pictures on this item, and then this will work perfect. As well as at this picture, you see you have in front this filter which is upright, and then in the middle something flat, and in the back again something upright. So with a normal tilt shift technique, this is not possible to get it sharp from front to rear. one more picture, same problem, same problem, same solution. But it's really important or interesting that you can use even depth of field.
You can play with the depth of
You
field.
can play with it. You can make the main object in the picture absolutely sharp and have natural looking depth of field going into the back, and it's absolutely easy. You just stop or define the end of the stacking sequence wherever you want, and from this point to the background it goes with the f-stop you put in your lens. So
you can work with deliberate blurring.
Yes. And this is a very interesting feature, I think. But you can, yes, however, it is also highly effective for larger objects such as machines and vehicles, and even in architectural and landscape photography. In any situation where maximum depth of field and image quality is required, this technique excels. So
I think this slide explains another aspect of that we try to overcome with using the focus stacking technique. This is the aspect of lens diffraction. So with today's high resolution sensors, we no longer can stop down to f-stops of f16 or f22 or even f32 because, well, diffraction becomes an issue, becomes a problem. And while stopping down the lens increases the depth of field, it also significantly reduces the overall sharpness due to diffraction. And well, when working with with focus stacking, we can work with well, wide open aperture.
It's a perfect aperture the lens requires.
Exactly, to get the maximum image quality out of the lens.
Yes. So this is the same picture you know from before.
Basket.
And now I have marked some spots. Here is an overview.
Yeah.
This is the one made with the CASTEL-MICRO, and the next one is stopped down to 32.
F32.
F32. You may not see in the presentation the difference, but if you look on the left upper spot, I made a comparison image. And here I think everyone can see the really big difference between these two pictures, the one with f-stopped 32 and the right one is a stacked picture with
the optimal aperture.
Yes.
Of f8 for this particular lens.
So and even if you think you have a flat picture, as we saw in the beginning with the map, but at the map, the camera came in an angle. Here is the camera flat before in front of the artwork, and in my experience, even on such a picture, focus stacking, you only need 2 or 3 pictures, but the quality increases really tremendously. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, of course, there is a certain limitation due to the usable focal length in this setup. Since the system works like a classic view camera and thus requires a bellows between the camera and the lens to sort of focus the lens. Of course, the lens must be suitable for this setup, and for many applications, we still offer a lens that is tech sharp and that we can only recommend. This is the 90mm Schneider Kreuznach Pirate lens. We did a separate webinar on this particular lens a couple of months back. Maybe Matt can add a link to that particular webinar into the chat box. And if not, you will get the link in the follow-up email. And of course, also, some vintage lenses. Andreas mentioned it just prior, that you may have sitting on your shelf collecting dust, like some old 150mm lenses or an APRO Ronar out of the Rodenstock collection, APRO Ronar 360, or even some older Mamiya lenses are perfect contenders and can be perfectly integrated into a modern stacking process. And for this, we offer the necessary lens board, the necessary adapters, all available.
Yeah.
Yes, I just mentioned the 360mm APRO Ronar. Of course, for such a lens with such a very long focal length, you need extension tubes in order to get the focal length to make this lens work with this setup. But you can even use lenses with such a long focal length or integrate them and make them work with this technical camera of ours.
Absolutely, yes.
Some cameras, of course, offer a camera built-in stacking function, and of course, people always ask, so where's the difference between your solution and the camera built-in stacking function? And of course, we just mentioned these old vintage lenses, the old Rodenstocks, the old Schneider lenses, the old Sinar lenses of back in the days, the old Mamiya lenses. And you notice that none of these lenses has built-in autofocus, but in order for the camera built-in stacking function to work, the camera relies on autofocus lenses.
Yeah.
And the moment you want to integrate any of those aforementioned lenses into the stacking process, the camera built-in stacking function cannot properly work. It cannot work. Yeah. And so if you're in the game of using one of these old lenses, well, camera built-in stacking is not an option for you. Well, occasionally the question arises whether the stacking technique can be combined with tilt and shift. Well, in our view, in our experience, tilt does not really make sense in combination with the stacking technique. By adjusting the plane of focus precisely, well, it's a time-consuming process, and compare it to simply taking 2, 3, or 4 images within the stacking process. This is a far quicker process to gain the necessary sharpness and the necessary depths in your images. Shift, however, can be useful in some cases to achieve specific perspectives, and this can be easily done with our Pro Shift adapter, which can be perfectly paired with 35mm sensor size cameras, APC size cameras, and even Micro Four Thirds cameras. And based on Andreas's experience, the Helicon software handles a series of shifted images quite well and without any issues,
problem,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this was a lot of ground to cover in a short time, in a little over half an hour. But our conclusion is if you plan to work at magnification factors greater than 1:1, greater than life size, a BALPRO series bellows, or alternatively the smaller BAL-F bellows is the right tool for you. Of course, mounted to any of our stacking rails, the rails that we offer for focus stacking techniques. And for achieving the maximum sharpness when photographing larger objects, our technical camera setup that consists of CASTBAL-PRO or CASTEL-MICRO,
CASTBAL-PRO
plus CASTEL-MICRO in combination, CASTEL-MICRO or CASTEL-M is the perfect solution for you. Anything you want to add, Andreas?
Not really. I think we made a little setup here to show you live what we mean.
Let's turn on our camera again.
Or shall we look at some questions in between?
I think we would just keep the questions for later and just hop into the demo setup that we created just for you guys. As you see that we have both setups assembled here around a little table, around some rail tracks and a little train. And in the front, we have the CASTBAL-PRO setup attached to the stepping motor-driven ray CASTEL-MICRO. We have a 65mm Mamiya RZ lens and a Fujifilm GFX 50S in the back. And we just want to show you the typical stacking process of taking an image of a larger object first, and then we switch cameras to our BALPRO setup, which also sits on top of a CASTEL-MICRO. And in the front, we have our 90mm Schneider Pyrite lens, and in the back, a Nikon C7 II. And we just show you, a little macro stacking sequence. And I will just switch to Andreas's computer because he does the stacking on both of these items, and he will just show you how quick and effortlessly this can be done. At least I hope so. Just turn on the camera first. Of course, this should help.
Should help. Did not help. So maybe start the software again. What I do, what I mostly take is the Capture One software, but I think the same will work with Lightroom as well, or with any other camera-specific software.
Just switch to your computer.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we have the Fujifilm, and I go to the live view. Okay. And as you can see, we have a little train here. And my workflow is, as I can show it to you now. So I go into the picture on the point which is nearest to the camera, and then with the
control panel of the CASTEL-MICRO, I find very quick the near point, starting point stacking sequence.
You may see here. Maybe a little more to get this guy in focus. No, that's too much. So a little more is not bad, just to have a little safety place. And so I define the starting point. And then going to the most back point. Farthest point, yes. So this looks good here. And as you see, this is all with f8 in the camera, and you see how small the depth of field is even at this magnification at f8.
Mhm.
So here I will define the end point. And 15 pictures to do. So then I do one test picture, which is here. And now I can control if the lighting is okay and anything of this. And which is really important, I always mark the last picture before the stacking session, just to find the stacking pictures, the series, as quick as possible.
May I ask a quick question, guys?
Yes, sure.
June would like to know, what software are you using right now?
Right now, that's Capture One. Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. But as I told, it will work with Lightroom as well, or with a camera special software. It's just to control the camera from the computer. So now I can start the stacking process. Anything goes. Ja, es kommt jetzt. As you see, the pictures come in on the computer.
Yeah.
You see it on the. Yeah. Ist das gespielt? Oder?
The right-hand side.
In this way, I use LED light, no flash, so I can use the shutter, the electronic shutter of the camera, which is reduces even the vibration.
So LED continuous light.
The series is ready. Okay, I did it as in my normal workflow with raw files. we talked in before the beginning to change it to JPEG to get quicker, but now it's my normal.
Martin and Andreas, Greg is asking, what is the actual distance between the closest point and the furthest point?
The closest point as we took was around around 80 centimeters. Yes, about 80 centimeters from the camera, and the size of the object is about also around 80 centimeters in size. Martin is looking for a ruler, so maybe we can show it to you live.
And while you're looking for that, June asked, is this working from the closest focusing point to the nearest, to the farthest, or the other way around?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Was war die Frage?
Vom Nahpunkt zum Fernpunkt.
Yes, but you can change it the other way around. That makes no difference.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, 80 centimeters.
Yes, as I thought, it's around 80 centimeters in depth. So now the software, the Capture One software, changed automatically to the Helicon Focus software. The pictures are here, and I just can go to render it. I have my normal Einstellungen, setups,
Settings.
Normally or mostly in product photography, this method B will work, and so I can just render it. It takes not too much time, I think, and this is not the newest MacBook. It's from 2020, so don't worry, it will work. Even with great files from the Fuji GFX. So the picture is ready, and now we can have a look on it if we want. Yeah, just I thought we can, but it does not, so we go further. No, now, okay. Yes. So we can zoom in, and you see anything is
In focus.
perfect in focus from the starting point up to the middle, up to the crane here, and just to the face of the locomotive and the conductor. So and here in the picture, the other setup it's coming in, and if you see here, this will be our macro setup, which we will show you as well. We point on this
this number there.
on this number. Sometimes my vocabulary is too bad. Not enough practice, of course. So we change the program again, close the helicon, but no, we can save this picture. Hopefully, yes. So, save. And then go back to Capture One. And now we have to change to the other camera, which hopefully will work. Yes.
Yeah.
And now you see, as I showed you before, this number. This is now a magnification of around 1 to 1. We could go nearer, but then it will take much more time, because the larger the magnification is, the more pictures you need.
Okay.
It works automatically, so you can you could go take a cup of coffee, but we don't want to take so much of your time, so we show it with a 1-to-1 magnification. So same procedure. I go.
And it's important to note that while we switched setups, we're now working on the BALPRO bellows and not on the CASTBAL-PRO bellows anymore.
Yes, this is a great difference. Now it's a BALPRO balance, and the whole unit is moving. Lens, bellows, and camera.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this is our starting point, and move to the other end, maybe here. Yes, this is yes, about 12 millimeters in depth, and again one test picture as we have here, and let's start stacking.
And while we while the stacking sequence runs, we'll notice that for this rather shallow depths that we are taking photos of here, the stacking process requires almost 45 individual images compared to the 15 that we require to cover an imaging depth of 80 centimeters.
Yes.
So this is a big difference. And I think we can jump forward a little. We've created an image of this number yesterday. Maybe you can we can just show the resulting image
Yes.
to not let people wait too long and jump into the Q&A session right afterwards.
Okay, so you see here, this is
The result
of this macro picture. And if we go for 100%, I think this is really impressive. Even the dust and all these spots shine out and will create some retouching work.
Okay, let's switch to the main camera again. I think both of these stacking sequences were quite impressive and really explained the differences in application of both setups quite well. And I hope you were able to see the difference and why we created these two bellows units. And Matt, do we have questions that we can turn to and answer?
Yes, we certainly do.
Sure.
So the first question that I have here came from June. She said, how do you attach the Mamiya lenses to the bellows?
Well, the Mamiya lenses are attached by means of our adapter. It's called the Pro Mam 6.7. It's a small adapter. Maybe we can show you this. It's actually quite easy. Yeah, Andreas will bring me a lens that has the adapter on it. It's tiny, narrow adapter. Just attaches the red point here. Here's the red dot. Oh, come on. Why isn't it working? Yeah. And then you take the locking ring, and then it attaches to it, and then you attach an aperture control clamp to the lens. So this will enable you to effectively stop down the lens. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to open and close the aperture in the lens internally. Yeah.
Awesome. I posted a link to this both as a response to the Q&A question.
Thank you.
And I'm posting it right now to the regular chat so people can find it in both places. Now, mind you, this is a link to the NovaFlex US website, but there is also the international website. So
and one last remark to this adapter: it can not only be used in combination with Mamiya RZ lenses, but with RB lenses as well.
Excellent. Oh, that's great. They both have that breech lock. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. This happened. I should have asked this. It was when it was more timely. But Sue asked, and imagine when this happened during the presentation. Isn't that what one would have done with a large format view camera, tilt shift back in the day?
You mean taking an image of that train, for example, on its tracks?
Correct.
Yes, that's what we were referring to throughout the presentation. But using classic tilt shift movements won't enable you to get everything in focus that we see here in this train. But only parts of it.
Or you have to stop down so far to 32 or maybe 45, and then you have this effect, which was in the former times not so. It was there. This wie hast du gesagt?
Lens diffraction.
This lens diffraction effect. I knew that on the
Designer.
nee,
Was müssen Sie sagen?
Filmfotografie, also on the
Analog photography.
yes, in analog photography, I did testings and you could see it, but you did not have any other possibilities, so you had to accept it. And now we are with this technique, we can really do sharp pictures which were never we were never able to do in these format times with a large format camera. I did that for 20 years with my Cena, and I know the difference, and I'm really happy to have this technique now.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And I'm just going to pop on for a second and say I completely agree with that. There was a real boundary before with lens diffraction. We stopped down as much as we could. We might have thrown a tilt on with Scheimpflug and maximized the opportunity, but it was never, ever as sharp as we can do today with focus stacking, especially with something like the CASTEL-MICRO or the CASTEL-M. So, all right. Well, thanks. This is incredible. Quick question from Branko. Which version of Capture One are you using?
This is the actual version.
Current version.
Let's see. This is build 16.3.36.
Okay.
Must be the actual one, but I work with this Capture One since many years, and do focus stacking since about 6-7 years, and
you continuously update
yes,
the software.
Okay. And it worked with any version.
Oh wow, the Q&As are coming in hot and fast now. So going back to the RZ/RB thing, do you sell the aperture control clamp? I'm going to put in parentheses separately for the Mamiya lenses.
We do not sell it separately, but if a customer already bought into our system and already owns the adapter, of course, there might be an opportunity. Just reach out to us, reach out to your contacts at Mac Group, and we will find a solution for you. Just let us know.
Great. There's a fairly international crowd here today based on that. So when Martin refers to Mac Group, he means people in the USA. If you're in another country, you may have a different distributor.
Yeah, people in the USA and the UK, because Mac Group is our distributor in both of these countries. But if you're tuning in from another country, just shoot us an email direct, give us a call, and we'll be happy to assist.
And what's that email address?
Just email to mail or info@novaflex.com. Both of these work.
Perfect. Another question. This is a little bit of a lead in here. I never had considered a motorized macro rail, but I can tell you that I've been unhappy with all the various rails, not NovaFlex, that I've used in the last 3 years. I need the NovaFlex CASTEL-MICRO motorized macro rail. The question is, are there any concerns that I may need to learn in my learning curve?
Well, I think this sort of depends on what application you plan to use CASTEL-MICRO. Is it solely macro photography, or is it product photography as well? Both of these applications require different background knowledge. Would you agree? Oh.
Yes, but maybe one idea. It's always okay. Some people come to us and show me pictures which have 30 time magnification, 50 time magnification, and say, I want to do this, and give me the technique and the equipment, and then I tell the people, please don't start with these really extreme magnifications. Start with 1:1, make your experience, and then go further, and you will be you will have much more fun than to start with the most complicated setup.
Correct. Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Okay. June said that she does product style.
She said
So,
she does
yeah.
product style. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
of course, the first item that she should add to her existing CASTEL-MICRO setup would be CASTBAL-PRO, as we learned today, because it gives her all the possibilities of bringing the stacking technique to product photography and stacking larger subjects. And of course, I'd say a basic understanding of lighting is essential to achieving good results. And anything you want to add?
Maybe we have to say you can use nearly any modern camera, either Nikon, Canon, Fuji, anything you have. But for product photography, you have to use a lens, which we told in the presentation, which is made for the use on a bellows system, either from a large format camera or an enlarger system, or best way to use our Schneider pirate lens, of course. But there are so many lenses which made for this using with a bellows in between to reach infinity. If you take a normal camera lens which is designed to sit fixed on the camera,
it will have you lose infinity focus the moment you attach it to CASTBAL-PRO or BALPRO.
But anything else is not difficult, I think.
Correct. I think this explains or just answers this question to the best of our ability.
Yeah, we have an affirmation from one of the other attendees. Greg said, I had the same question prior to purchase of my CASTEL-MICRO. It's turned out to be as easy as can be. Thank you, Greg. This is a question that works really well with what we were just talking about. Rich asked, how does one tell what stop will yield the least diffraction, or must one run tests on different subjects?
You mean what f-stop or what step size?
Which f-stop?
I think we just shortly covered this topic. So the optimal aperture in a lens, which usually sits somewhere between f5.6 and f8, will get you the best optical quality out of the lenses that we covered today.
Yeah, an old rule is, which I learned in my young days, was to take the lens, the maximum open, and get 2 steps down from the. So if you have a maximum open from 2.8, it's 5.6. And you are normally on a good way. Some lenses may be very good, just more open, but this rule works up to now.
So in other words, just use Andreas's rule of thumb, and then you sort of have to trial and error with the lenses that you own.
So there's no published chart of the optimal sharpest aperture for any lens.
Yeah, sometimes you get these informations from the lens manufacturer. Rodenstock and Schneider have
they publish these
data sheets. There is this to read.
John added to this: should you shoot your 90 millimeter pyrite stop down 2 stops?
Yes, it works as well with 5.6, but I usually work with f8. But as I showed former, you can play with f-stop because you don't have the need always to stop down very far because the depth of field you get with the stacking. So you are free to play with the f-stop to get the result, especially in the background and wie heißt das Ding immer, das bouquet, the bouquet you like, and that's something which makes me very happy as well.
So in other words, you want to play with different openings of the iris to get a different bouquet in the background to the surrounding blur. Okay.
All right. We've got a couple more. This is a really active Q&A.
Hey, short question: fantastic. Are people still seeing us? Because
yes,
my
they are.
Audience view we're blacked out. No. Okay.
Yeah, there's been a couple of blips here and there, but they can currently see you. Yep.
Fair enough. Please go on. We're here for you.
Sure. Mark commented, this is not a question, that the DxO website should have optimal f-stops for each lens. So there's a resource you may consider.
Great remark. Thank you, Mark.
Roger asked, is there an easy way to retouch dust spots?
That is something that you have to answer.
The best way is to clean the objects before shooting. And then in retouching, there are several techniques. Most of the automatic techniques work sometimes, but not generally. Generally, they make the picture more unsharp. So if you have plain surfaces, you may take Auswahl.
It's like a path and Photoshop.
Yeah. Yes.
An editing path.
Yes, and then make use a filter on this particular area of the picture, but then for the other spots you have to work.
So cleaning the object beforehand is paramount.
Or you find something who did it for you. Someone who did it for you.
Just a point of minor translation. I believe you mean objective, meaning the lens, the surfaces of the lens, not the object.
No, sorry.
Both? Should you clean your lens and the subject, right?
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, it could go without saying, yeah, but if it's in a retouching situation, yeah, you just got to retouch it. So I think if there's any other suggestions, like, do you do it layer by layer? Or do you do it in Helicon focus? Or are there other maybe tips from a pro that you have outside of cleaning it before you take the pictures? Because dust happens, right?
Yeah, dust happens. I do most of the retouching really in Photoshop because that works very well. There are several tools to do that depending on what the dust is. And I do not much retouching in Helicon focus. There is a tool and it's useful. You saw the picture with the candles, maybe you remember.
Yeah.
And if you do a set of stacking pictures and the candle is lightning, you may have different pictures from the candle, from the light, and there's a good retouching tool in Helicon Focus just to get the light you like the most, and just put it from this particular picture to the stacked picture, and so you get these light perfectly.
Excellent.
This you can surely take this tool for other problems as well, but I use it for that. I found it
To be quite useful.
yes.
Thank you, Andreas. Mark asked, what software does the shutter release? And I think he means performs the action of releasing the shutter.
You mean when working with CASTEL-MICRO?
Yes.
So CASTEL-MICRO can trigger the camera. So the moment you purchase a CASTEL-MICRO rail, you have to let us know what camera you want to shoot it with, and then you have to purchase a camera-specific trigger cable. And then the camera is triggered by CASTEL-MICRO.
Right. So every time when you program it, you program your closest point and your furthest point and the steps in between. And every time it moves, it'll actuate the shutter in the camera.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right. Greg asked, and I think there's only 2 left unless more of them come in. Does the CASTEL-MICRO computer allow you to write your own algorithms?
Well, not right now. It's a closed system, so it also is not compatible with any kind of apps or external software. It does what it does, and it does this quite good. And but right now it is not not an open system.
No, but the idea was to make a system which will work as well, and you don't have to get updates any time. And up to now, this works, and it, as you told, it does what it should do, and so it's no need for a special app.
Cool. I was just answering another one in there, so I believe that I took care of that one. So here's my face. There we go. That one goes here. And I'm going to take a look at the rest of these here. There's a lot of really great interactions here in the chat. I don't think there's any more open questions that we have. So I would just reiterate for everybody who is here for the live webinar, thank you so much for having such stimulating questions and listening so closely to the presentation. And if anyone is watching this on the replay, please do leave a comment below so that we can get back to you. Or as Martin said, you can email info@novaflex.com. That's an international email address, and they'll make sure that somebody answers you from the right place.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your interest in focus stacking. Thanks for all the questions that came in. And Matt, thank you very much for helping out in the chat, for curating everything while we were presenting. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun bringing all of this information together and preparing the deck. And anything you want to add, Andreas?
No, I want to thank as well. Thank you to all of you. Please, yeah, entschuldige my bad English, but I will learn. I'm more a photographer, not an English speaker, but I try my best. So goodbye and have a nice evening.
Exactly. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you.